Okay, welcome to another edition of Hittin' Buckets, our golf podcast where we try our best to give you winners and talk about the recent stories. We had week off last week, so lots to cover this week. We're trying to hit everything we missed in the week before, but let's go right to the big story from just on Sunday, and that would be Harris English winning in a playoff. And Harris English also, Ryan, who you picked. So I'm going to throw it over to you and tell me what it's like to watch your guy in an 8-hole playoff go
Uh,
at it.
yeah, I mean, it was what a fun weekend. I wish we did have a pod last week just so I could have laid out my Harris English reasoning, but the guy, he's just one of those guys that trends, and when he's hot, he's hot. Like last season when he won the Century, he came in fifth and sixth in the two tournaments before that. So coming into the Travelers last week, he had a 14th at Palmetto that really could have been a lot better. And then he kind of backdoored a third at the U.S. Open, just playing really good golf. Um, so I was pretty invested in him and I guess I was pretty convinced that he was going to have a good week. I had him as my one and done as well. That 8-hole playoff was not easy to watch by any means. Just begging for him to get a birdie, but it was just kind of par save after par save, it was pretty fun to watch. It was a little nerve wracking. 8 holes is a long way to go. Um, but I mean, he hit some. I think he's low key one of the best putters on tour. I think he hit some huge putts down the stretch and in the playoffs just to kind of keep it going. But I know when he put in the sand, it might have been the second playoff hole, and it was plugged up against the lip. I thought it was over there. So super happy that he pulled through, and a big win for him.
Yeah, it was definitely a good call by you. I believe he was 41 or mid 30s, somewhere in that range. So good pick. I had Cam Smith and Abraham Answer, so they both gave me, well, Smith's life went out immediately at the start of the fourth round, but I went into the fourth round thinking he had a good chance. And then Abe Answer did his usual thing, too late, too little, too late of a charge, finishing, was it third place? Abe finished.
Yeah.
But all in all, for the Travelers, I must say, like I watched a little bit more than I thought I was going to get to, especially because when I was like, hey, just let me watch this playoff and we'll be done. And then it turns into almost a whole front nine.
Yeah.
I must say it's a really good tournament to follow a major. Usually you get a little bit of a letdown, but I enjoyed the course. I enjoyed the field. It was a really good tournament.
A lot of the players too say have the same sentiments about it, how the course and the organization is top notch. And next year, I believe the US Open's in Connecticut. So I think you're gonna have a huge field at Travelers next year.
Okay, so let's hit agenda number two and another good pick by you, Ryan. I'm gonna throw it up here right now, but there we go. Whoa, Nelly. So you took Nelly Korda 2 weeks ago at it's right there, the Meyer LPGA Classic, and then last week in a major. I mean, I almost didn't take her because I didn't think she could win back to back. You took her again, so you double up picking Nelly Korda 2 weeks in a row, two wins. Congrats again. Throwing it over to you. This is kind of your podcast here. This is three winners here in 2 weeks.
Man, whoa, Nelly, that sums it up. I mean, what can you say about her? She comes through back to back weeks. I'm real happy I got in before she climbed to the number one in the world. She looked. I watched a lot of it. She looked dominant out there. I mean, she's got an 8 iron to a lot of these greens when the other women are hitting fairway wood. So it's a huge advantage for her. It's hitting one outright in a week is hard enough, but I hammered both of them last week. It made for a real fun weekend for sure.
Yeah, I think you said it there. I was watching a bit too, and on Sunday it was almost like heads up with that Lizette Salas, and she's 40, 50 yards past her on every hole. So I never really felt it was in doubt. I was like, Korda basically has to lose this because she just has such an advantage when she's 50 yards ahead of this girl on every hole. And and like and what ended up happening, well, I think it was a par five where she eagled her second eagle of the round, and Salas bogeyed, and that just put her up four in the back nine, and it was done. But yeah, I've been a fan of the Korda sisters since start of the year. Once I realized who they were, Peter Korda's daughter, because I was a fan of his, watching him growing up tennis, and they got a tennis pro tennis brother, so I've been following the quarters. But unfortunately, I did not bet Nelly the last 2 weeks like you. But entertaining tournament, great weekend of golf, and you have to talk about the U.S. Open because we missed that last week by not having a pod. But I think we owe John Rahm a little bit of time, maybe a couple minutes on what was a great tournament. What a leaderboard on Sunday. We had Brooks there, Bryson there, Morikawa there, Rory there, Louis there, DJ lurking, Xander lurking. Great Sunday, and Rahm clearly deserved to win, birdieing 17-18 and not having that blow up hole that everyone else had on Sunday. Yeah, what else? Obviously, you watched a lot of the U.S. Open. What kind of takeaways did you have from that?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of gave it to me a little bit for saying that it was my favorite major to watch, but it kind of played out the way most of them do. It's the cream rises to the top. At one point, the leaderboard, I halfway through Sunday was like a who's who of golf. It was unbelievable to watch, and it's hard. Obviously, we miss Rom. It's hard to bet a guy at 10-1 when it's just such a stacked field like that. But I mean, he looked like the best player in the world, and he deserved it after what happened at the Memorial. And I mean, when you hear him talk about how his good feels for Tory and all that, like his first win there, he proposed there, all this, he won the Farmers, so it all made sense. It's easy to look back, but good for him. A fun tournament for sure, and poor Louis, eh? Poor Louis. Gave it away again.
I mean, yeah, Louis always knocking on the door, but that drive on 17 was
Yeah.
rough. But
Jeez.
Rory had a blow up hole, Colin had a blow up hole, Brooks, Bryson had a couple blow up holes.
Big time.
But yeah, I just don't see Louis as blowing it. I just see like it's tough to close, and that's the difference between like a Rahm and a Louis, I guess. Like Rahm was due to win and he won. Like
Nah, he blew it, man. All you had to do was hit the fairway on 17. You got 18 coming up, which is the easiest hole on the course. He blew it.
I guess so. If he doesn't hit that in 17, maybe 18, he blows it. But I guess you're
Yeah.
right. It's like he just had to par 17, birdie 18, and then he has a playoff. But obviously easier said than done. All right, let's move on. Let's get some new picks. So the Rocket Mortgage Classic. So we're here right in the middle of two majors. So the field going to get a little weaker than the Travelers. The Rocket Mortgage Classic is third year this tournament's been played. It's in Detroit, par 72, 7,300 yards. By all accounts, if you look at the last 2 years, it's fairly easy. You're going to see some scoring here. Cut line was -4 2 years in a row. I think Bryson won it last year at -23. Nate Lashley won it the year before, I think -20-ish. So expect some scoring here. One note on this course is the average driving distance is like 30 yards more than the average course. So it's open for them to let loose with their driver. There's not going to be a lot of long approach shots, a lot of pitching wedges into the green here. So driver, wedges, and like any scoring course, hot putter. So that's my takeaway for this. Bryson's here to defend, heavy favorite, 8.5 to 1. Hard to bet that, but course lines up for him. Obviously, he won here last year. You got Hideki here, Patrick Reed, Webb Simpson, kind of the favorites, the top end of the card. But yeah, I'm not playing any of those guys, and I'll let you go first, Ryan, and kind of take me through who your outright plays are this week at the Rocket Mortgage.
Yeah, like you said, I think we're in for a birdie fest this week. Through first 2 years in rotation here, it ranks the third easiest course on the schedule. And it's easy to kind of look at last year's leaderboard and see Bryson and Wolf and think this is a bomber's course. But
Wolf.
Wolf bombs
Had to get him in.
But don't worry, he'll get lots of airtime today. But I think both guys actually, if you look back at the numbers, they really did it with the flat stick last year. So you're going to look for guys that can get birdies in bunches. Take advantage of these. There's 4 par 5s, and like you said, you need a hot putter. So, first guy I'm playing this week is Webb Simpson at 19-1. I mean, look, Webb hasn't really been himself for a while. He's been battling injuries. He looked real bad at Torrey Pines, but there's just some courses that aren't good for his game, and that's definitely one of them. He does love these Donald Ross designs. You've heard me mention multiple times that I'm playing Webb at Wyndham, and I'm always playing Webb at Wyndham. It's also a Donald Ross design course. He finished T8 here last year, and I think even more on top of all that, I think he's got to be feeling the pressure of the Ryder Cup team. You know, that's something that's important to him. I think where we stand right now, he's probably fighting for that last spot. I think the good news for him is this is the stretch in the year where he really excels. So I think he's going to finish the year strong, and I think we're going to start here with this week. So he's my first play. My second play, you guessed it, is my dog Matthew Wolff, 34-1. So as the president of the Matthew Wolff fan club, this tournament is kind of where my dislike for Bryson came. The whole Brooks thing kind of made it even worse, but Wolff took, I think it was a 3-stroke lead into the final round here last year. He ended up shooting low 70s. I think Bryson shot like a 65 and won the tournament. So they went on to have a similar head-to-head again at the end of the year at the US Open as well. So we saw a couple of weeks ago. I mean, the time off looks like it really worked well for him. He's been having some obviously he's been having some issues, and it looks like he might have put them behind him. He's said all the right things in the media. This course, like you said, there's not a lot of penalty areas. He can let loose off the tee. And if it's going to be a birdie fest, I like Wolff's chances for sure. He runs hot and cold with the putter. But I'm hoping he can see his game really come full circle here at a tournament he almost won last year. So he's my second pick. My third pick is going to be Max Homa, 71-1. Like, what is that? I mean, I don't have a whole lot of hard hitting stuff to give you, but if I'm going to keep seeing numbers like 71 on Max Homa in a mediocre field like that, I'm going to have him on my card weekly. I mean, we all know he could contend after a win at Riviera. The question with him, I guess, and a lot of these top end guys is can you play well on an easy course? Which sounds funny to say since he won on one of the most challenging tracks that they have on the tour, but I just find these courses really bring everyone into it. Everyone really has a chance. I love Max's all around game, and I guess I'm just shocked to see a number like 71. So I like Max to be in the mix. And my fourth play is going to be Brandt Snedeker at 76-1. So the reason in here, I guess, is if I like Webb Simpson here, why wouldn't I like Brandt Snedeker? They have very similar all around games. I think Sneds is probably a better putter if I'm being realistic. He finished T5 here 2 years ago. So I think the course really fits his eye. If it's like we've been told and we've seen with the -25, -20s, like it's going to be a birdie fest. I'll take a guy who I know can hit the ball well and hope that he finds a hot putter for the weekend. So those are my 4 guys going into Rocket Mortgage.
It sounds good. I'm going to go a little out of order right away. I'm just going to say I took Max Homa too at 71 because I agree with you. He's at the same betting site we took. He's at 51 now, so that's a drop of 20 points. And I just jumped on that on Monday, and it was without any course research. Honestly, it was just
it's an auto click.
Max Homa 71-1. Max is kind of a little bit trick or treat right now. In his last 12 tournaments, he's missed the cut 6 times, but the 6 times he makes the cut, he's won it in top 10, another 4 out of those 6, and then a top 20. So if Max makes the cut, he's probably going to be in the mix. So I had to take that Homa number at 71. So in reverse order, that's the longest odds of my outright. Going back to the top, I took Jason, let me say this right, Kokrak. Just found out he was born in Canada, so somewhat Canadian, Jason.
Thorburn.
Yeah. basically a theme here with my first two picks is what does he do well? He drives it long and he putts well. So there you go. Recent winner. I like guys who can finish. 2 wins on the PGA season. So I took Kokrak at 29-1. Next one, friend of the pod. Couldn't get off of him, so I had to take him. Garrick Higo, 51-1. He also hits the ball pretty far and also putts well. So I kind of kept that theme. Hit it far, hit some putts. Winner recently. So Kokrak, Higo, that's kind of the three things I wrote in my notes. Hit it far, hit putts, can close, can win. And then my fourth one, if you count Homa, but to round up the card, Cameron Tringali. So I'm kind of going opposite here. This is the guy with the most starts without a win on the PGA Tour. He's been good here, tied for fifth, tied for 30th. I guess 3 top 10s this year. He's been in the mix. So he's familiar as anyone else with the course. He's been knocking on the door. Get him at 51-1, good player. I just figured, why not now? Kind of saw his name pop up in a lot of preview charts and a lot of grids, so I took my chance with Cameron Tringali as my fourth pick. And I'm going to quickly share that, and then Ryan, you're going to jump over to your bonus plays. But to recap, Ryan's outrights: Webb at 19, Wolf at 34, Homa 71, and Snedeker at 76. And to recap my outrights, I got Kokrak 29, Higo at 51, Tringali 51, and Max Homa at 71. So Ryan, what do you got for us for some bonus plays?
Yeah, so for bonus plays, I'm trailing your pick of our guy here, Garrick Higo, for top 10, paying 550. So I guess what my only real concern is, can a guy really win twice on tour in his first 4 events? I think your boy Abe Answer would probably cringe at the thought of that, but Higo can hang around in Birdie Fest. He won 2 of them over on the Euro Tour back to back this year, or 2 in 3 weeks. And then we just saw him at the Palmetto. So not sure he's going to win this week, but I think, like you said, the mix of the long ball and the short game should keep him in the mix. Another top 10 I got is Doc Redman, top 10 for $6. So his game's really kind of trending in the right direction. He had the T2 there at Palmetto as well. And he's coming to a course that he just really likes. He finished solo second here last year, T20 the year before. Really, I'm just a sucker for some Doc Redman. And then I got Brendan Todd, T20, or top 20, paying $350. So I think his game really lines up with the 2 other guys I'm playing in Webb and Snedeker. Same kind of profile. He won twice last year, posting scores of -24 and -20 in both those wins. So he can contend in these types of courses and plays well on the easier courses here. And then I'm going over to the Irish Open, and I'm taking a long shot here. I'm taking Graham McDowell. He's paying 161-1. I think it's real obvious that an Irishman is going to win this Irish Open, and it's not going to be Rory. So give me the veteran, Graham McDowell. He's riding some good vibes. Just being named vice captain of the Ryder Cup team. And you know what? At 161, I'll take a shot that he rides those good feels into a good performance in a place he definitely wants to play well. So,
okay, bonus plays for me. I'm going to take off right where you were with the Irish Open there. I didn't really go too deep into that this week, but with these heavy favorites winning, Rahm 10-1 2 weeks ago. Forgot to mention at the top, though, I got to give my boy Victor Hovland shout out for winning in Germany last week. He was like 6.8-1 to win, so he's a heavy favorite. So I'm protecting myself this week. My first bonus play is Bryson to win at Rocket, parlayed with Rory to win at the Irish. So he times those up, and you're looking at a 55.25-1 win if both the heavy favorites can win. So that's my first bonus play. My second bonus play is courtesy of my brother Jeff and my uncle Steve. They both said they liked Hideki this week. I did not like Hideki enough to take him as a winner, but I thought top 10, 2.75, why not? So Hideki at top 10, my bonus. And I want to play Mav McNeely again. I had him as a bomb last week, and he started out hot, the -5, and then shot even to finish tied for 30th. But I feel like he's close. So to take him only top 20 this week, 3.5 to 1. He was top 10 here last year. So I'm taking Mav McNeely, top 20. And then I'm taking a long shot top 20, fan favorite, Harry Higgs, paying 10 to 1. So my notes literally say, why not? So not a lot of analysis here. He did come top 5 at a major recently, hasn't been good since. But my whole thought is, hoping for a guy. I like the guy. He hits the top 20 here and it pays for my whole card at 10 to 1. So taking a shot with Harry Higgs. And I'm going to go quickly recap our bonus plays again. And then we're going to add, so there's Ryan's Higo top 10, Redmond top 10, Todd top 20, and Graham McDowell throwing a toonie into the pot there at 161 to 1. And then on my pick, Sadecki top 10, Mav top 20, and Harry Higgs top 20 with the Bryson Rory gross parlay at 55.25 to 1. So quickly, we're going to add, we do this on Twitter, but we always throw some bombs. Some guys maybe throw a, depending how big the bomb, a loony, a toonie on, maybe throw it each way, because these guys hit every now and then. And I'm going to throw yours up in the screen here, and then you can tell me about the 3 guys you chose this week.
Yeah, not much to say about him. Patton Kazar just always seems to show up on these easier courses. I really like Patrick Rogers. I'm surprised he hasn't won in a while. And this Austin Eckroat kid, he's a young up and coming kid. I know my guy Matt Wolf had some good things to say about him, and when they're playing head to head. So I think he's worth a shot there at 201.
Okay, and then for mine, I'm taking Mark Hubbard, 141 to 1. Good tournament last week. Yeah, not a lot of analysis on these bombs. These are guys I just looked at long odds, throw a toonie on, see what happens. Satoshi Kodara, he can score, and he's won before, so I liked him at 176. And then I'm giving John Pack another look because top college player. I feel like he could break out at any point, and this could be a guy I end up chasing a bit, but at 401 to 1, I can throw a loony on that and hope for the best. So those are my 3 bombs this week. Okay, let's give us a little update where you stand on the one and done and how many tournaments we have left. And
Yeah, so obviously gained a lot of ground with Harris English last week, so I crept back in. I'm in 45th place right now in the Mayo Cup, so well within the money. 3 weeks there, I think there's 3 weeks remaining now, so it's tough. I could be safe and take Bryson, but I assume anyone who has him left is going to take Bryson, and I'm not going to gain any ground that way. So the way I look at it, I'm down to my top 2 guys that my outright board. So that's Webb and Wolf. Webb, I guess, will be probably one of the most popular plays as well. And he's still got that lingering neck injury, so there's a little bit of risk there. So the way I look at it is if I'm going to take on some risk, why not take it all on and play my guy Matthew Wolf? And if he helps me take down this big tournament, that's a good story for me. And if he doesn't, no, I'll be mad at him for a week.
yeah, so honestly, I'm kind of out of it in the 600s, but you get paid in the top 200. So I'm paying a little more attention, knowing that if I hit 2 winners here in the last 3 weeks, that'll probably get me in the money. So I think Bryson, we might have to double check this, but I think he's been used to a point where 50% or 60% people only have available. So
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
If Bryson, I get your strategy. If Wolf hits, then you're in really good shape to be competing to win this thing. I'm going more safe, knowing that if I take the heavy favorite that wins, then I got 2 weeks left and I could creep into the money somehow. So I figured I'm protecting myself against the Bryson win here with the one and done pick for the Mayo, and I did the parlay with them. So that's why I'm doing Bryson. It does matter. If I could hit a winner in a top 5 or 2 winners in the last 3 weeks, I could finish in the money. So that's why I'm going Bryson. I'm going to try to creep back into it here.
I like it. I don't like it, but I like it.
Yeah, I'd rather. Sure. but I'd rather Max Homa win. Max Homa wins. We're both
Yeah.
winners. We both
Yeah.
get a pick.
Let's just give it to Homa
You're kind of hot right now with the two Nelly wins and the English win. I'm looking for a win here. I've been close.
and Cantley. That's 4 wins in the last 5 weeks,
Well,
dog.
I got Cantley too, so
That's
I'm
right.
part of that.
Yeah.
Problem is my picks haven't been on the pod. I got Higo at 31-1 too, but I had Brooks, Colin both top 5. Abe was top 5 last week. It's time to break through and get another win. So
I mean that's important to say too. You got to watch the live betting, right? So a lot of times these guys, I added Brooks last week because I didn't like him at the 15 number, but he crept up to 40 and then he was live on Sunday. So you got to watch that live betting too.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll add that to our Twitter account because I've been leaving a little budget to do that, the after cut adjustment. You see someone like Brooks or like a Bryson who's 7 strokes back, and all of a sudden you're getting 30-1 odds. I don't mind throwing a little bit on that, and gives you second life into the weekend if you really tank out on your picks on Thursday, Friday.
Yep.
So we'll get our social media team on that and maybe add a tweet or two on Saturday morning.
Man, they are underpaid.
Yeah, they're still working on the music and the background.
Yeah.
All right, that will wrap it up for this week. Hopefully, you got some winners. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next week. Later, Ryan.
See you, bud.